You were never meant to live in lack. You were never designed to be poor, to struggle, to scrape and survive. That was never your true nature. The moment you accept poverty as your identity, you have already drifted far from the truth of who you are. Because you are not a beggar in this world. You are the source. Your world is a reflection of your inner conversations. If you continue to speak of struggle, it multiplies. If you entertain thoughts of lack, they will harden into your reality. It is not the job, not the economy, not your background that determines your wealth. It is your consciousness, your assumption, your belief, your self-talk, your inner movie. These are the architects of your fortune or your failure. You must see yourself rich before the world can. You must walk in abundance before your feet touch gold. The shift begins not with action, but with imagination. You must become rich in your thoughts, in your feelings, and your assumptions. For every man and woman carries the power of creation within, the power to construct empires or to remain in chains, all by the choice of what they dwell upon. To move from poor to rich is not about gaining, it is about remembering. Remembering that the true source of all wealth lives within you. The treasure house is not in the bank. It is in your awareness. As long as you believe that wealth comes from something outside you, you will always be a servant to it. But once you recognize that it flows from within, you become the master. Do not wait for evidence. Do not seek permission from the outer world to believe in your wealth. Assume it. Walk as one who already possesses it. Feel it. Live it inwardly. Make the inner state of being rich your permanent residence, and the outer world will conform. The poor mindset asks, can I afford it? The rich mindset declares, it is mine. The poor man waits for opportunity. The rich man knows he is opportunity. The poor man prays for miracles. The rich man knows he is the miracle. You must dare to claim that you already are what you desire to be. Even when nothing in your present shows it, even when your bank account mocks you, even when the cupboard is empty, you close your eyes, and in that sacred silence you see. You enter the state of your wish fulfilled. You breathe it in, you feel its reality, and you persist in that feeling until the outer world has no choice but to bend. Do not concern yourself with how. Do not strain or struggle or try to force the bridge of events. That is not your part. Your work is to dwell in the end, to stay loyal to the feeling of wealth, to assume it as naturally as you would assume the ground beneath your feet, and then, without effort, the path will open. The man who sees himself as poor, even when given a fortune, will soon lose it. But the man who sees himself as rich, even when stripped of everything, will create abundance wherever he goes. Because wealth is not money, it is not status, it is not assets. It is a state of consciousness, and once you enter it, the world will rearrange itself to match your inner world. You are not a victim. You are not broken. You are not meant to bow to limitation. You are infinite awareness. You are the creative force. You are the source of wealth, the distributor of abundance, the dreamer of reality. Now dare to awaken. Dare to leave behind the old identity of struggle. Dare to imagine yourself as already rich, calmly, confidently, persistently. Let that be your secret dwelling. Let that be your invisible foundation. And do not be moved by appearances. The world will reflect your inner conviction. So claim it now, assume it boldly, live it inwardly, and soon what you held in imagination will surround you in form. You were born into a world of infinite possibilities, yet from the earliest days, many were taught to accept limitation as truth, to believe that wealth belongs only to the few, that success is reserved for the chosen, that abundance must be earned through toil and suffering. But the truth is far simpler, far more profound. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are conscious of being. The poor mindset clings to what is visible, always measuring, always doubting. It looks at the bank balance and says, this is who I am. It looks at unpaid bills and says, this is my fate. But the rich mindset closes its eyes and sees beyond appearances. It dares to assume that the unseen is more real than what is seen. It understands that the outer world is only a shadow of the inner man, and so it changes the inner man, quietly, persistently, until the shadow must obey. You must understand this. Every time you say, "I am broke," you are not merely describing a moment, you are commanding your reality. You are placing an order to the universe, stamping your identity with limitation, and the world listens. But when you declare, "I am wealthy," with conviction and feeling, even when your senses deny it, you have set a new course. You have chosen to be rich inwardly first, and the world, being only a mirror, will respond in kind. It is not by effort, but by assumption, not by hard labor, but by inner certainty. The world worships action, but true power lies in belief. One moment of deep, sincere belief in your wealth is more potent than years of fearful striving. Action follows assumption. The outer flows from the inner. The moment you claim the state of wealth inwardly, the gears of the world begin to move on your behalf. Most people try to change the effects, never realizing that the cause is within. They hustle, they chase, they beg, they fear, but they never stop to ask, what am I assuming to be true about myself? Because the assumption is the seed, and whatever is planted will grow. If you plant fear, lack, struggle, you will harvest the same. But if you plant the seeds of abundance, prosperity, worthiness, what harvest do you think will come? Your inner conversations are the creators of your outer experiences. The words you speak within yourself when no one else hears shape the world that surrounds you. So if you find yourself in lack, examine your inner speech. Are you constantly rehearsing worry? Are you secretly doubting your own worthiness to be wealthy? Do you tell yourself that success is hard, that money is evil, that you will always have just enough to get by? And that will be your truth, for you are the only operant power in your world. But the shift, oh, the glorious shift, begins the moment you change that story. Not with noise, not with force, but with quiet certainty. You close your eyes. You turn away from appearances. You silence the fear, and you speak a new word within. I am rich now. I am prosperous now. I walk in abundance now, and though nothing yet shows it, your world has already begun to change. The poor mindset waits for proof before it believes. The rich mindset believes, and therefore it receives. The poor man prays for change and waits. The rich man becomes change in imagination, and the world yields to his vision. Every condition in your life is rooted in consciousness. Your finances, your relationships, your opportunities, all sprouted from seeds planted within. You can curse the soil, or you can plant a new seed. That is the power that lies in your hand. Begin now to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not with desperation, but with calm assurance. Picture the version of yourself who already has what you desire. How do they walk? How do they think? What conversations do they have? What decisions do they make? Embody that version of yourself now, not tomorrow, not when things improve, now. Feel it real. Let that inner experience become more vivid, more alive than the facts of your outer world. Live from the end. Think from the end. Speak from the end. And soon, the end will become your beginning. You are not called to chase after wealth. You are called to become it, to radiate it, to carry the fragrance of abundance in your state of being, and the world, sensing this fragrance, must respond. If you find yourself tempted to say, "I can't afford that," replace it with, "It is on its way to me." If you catch yourself envying another's wealth, bless them and say, "What is theirs is also mine, for I and my Father are one." And when doubt whispers, "But look at your situation," you reply, "I walk not by sight, but by faith. My reality is not dictated by facts, but by assumptions. This is not pretending. It is not fantasy. It is the truest form of creation. All things begin in the unseen. All things flow from consciousness. The world is but a reflection, a shadow play of the beliefs held within. Change the belief, and the reflection must change. You do not need more effort, you need more awareness. You do not need to work harder, you need to feel richer. Wealth is not what you do, it is what you are. It is a frequency, a state, a vibration. And once you tune yourself to that vibration, opportunities, ideas, and resources begin to pour in, not by effort, but by alignment. The man who feels rich cannot help but attract wealth. Even if you took everything from him, he would rebuild, not because of what he has, but because of who he is. And who he is rooted in what he believes himself to be. So start believing differently. Start assuming boldly. Start speaking only what you wish to experience. Let your inner speech be filled with declarations of abundance. Let your imagination be saturated with visions of wealth. Let your emotions match the feeling of already having it. Do not waver. Do not let temporary appearances distract you. The moment you shift your identity, the world must obey. But it may take time for the old reflections to dissolve. Be patient. Be unwavering. Keep dwelling in the state of the end. Keep returning to the feeling of fulfillment. You are not hoping to be rich. You are rich. You are not wishing for abundance. You are abundance. Let that become your self-concept. Let it be so natural to you that you no longer even try to make it happen. You just know it already has. When you look at your circumstances and they seem contrary, do not resist. Do not fear. Simply remind yourself, this too is passing. It is only the residue of my former state. I no longer dwell there. I live in wealth now. And watch. Watch how things begin to move. Watch how ideas come, how doors open, how people appear, how everything conspires to bring your inner world into outer form, not because you begged, not because you struggled, but because you believed. You may begin with small assumptions. Imagine a gift. Imagine an unexpected amount appearing. Imagine ease in your finances. And when it shows up, even in the smallest ways, celebrate it. Let it prove to you the law. Let it affirm that your consciousness is the only true cause. But do not stop there. Move boldly. Assume bigger. Dream wider. Claim your divine inheritance. For you were not created to be small. You were not created to live in fear. You were created to create, to express the fullness of life in all its glory. And it begins now. Not when the check comes, not when someone saves you. Now, in this moment, with your next breath, with your next thought, with your next assumption. Who are you willing to become? Are you ready to release the identity of struggle, of limitation, of just enough? Are you ready to wear the garment of wealth, to feel the confidence, the ease, the joy of being truly rich in every way? Then do so, now, in your inner world. Assume it, accept it, embrace it, and the world will follow. For you are not separate from your creation. You are the cause. Always have been, always will be. You do not need the world's permission to be rich. You do not need anyone's validation, anyone's agreement. You only need your own inner consent. For the moment you give yourself the permission to feel rich, to be rich, to think from wealth, everything changes. The tides turn, the ground beneath you becomes fertile, and the reality you once chased begins to chase you. The old self, the one who believed in lack, who feared not having enough, who identified with struggle, must be lovingly left behind. You do not fight that self. You simply stop feeding it. You no longer affirm its beliefs. You no longer tell its stories. You turn instead to a new self, a self that has always existed within you, the self that knows abundance, the self that walks with certainty, the self that speaks as one who already possesses all. This is the secret. You are not becoming rich. You are uncovering the truth that you already are. Wealth is not something you acquire. It is something you awaken to. It is not outside you. It is a dimension of you, a state, a level of awareness. And once you access it, truly access it, you carry it with you into every room, every relationship, every opportunity. People will feel it. They may not understand it, but they will respond to it. For you cannot hide the consciousness of wealth. It shines through your eyes. It moves in your posture. It expresses in your words. It shapes the atmosphere around you. And the world, always obedient to your vibration, brings more to match it. This is why you must not dwell in worry. Worry is prayer in reverse. Worry is faith in lack. And whatever you feed with faith will grow. But when you shift to assuming the best, even without proof, even when everything tells you otherwise, you are planting the seeds of abundance, and harvest must come. It is law. It is not chance. It is not luck. It is law. The outer always follows the inner. So the most important thing you can do each day is not to chase money, but to dwell in the state where money flows naturally to you. Ask yourself daily, am I being the version of me who is already rich? If not, shift, not by force, not by panic, but by gently guiding yourself into the feeling. Use imagination, use gratitude, use silence, whatever it takes to return to that state. And from that state you will think differently, you will speak differently, you will move differently, and your world will conform to that difference. The poor mindset blames. It says, I am this way because of them, because of the system, because of my past. But the rich mindset takes full responsibility. It says, I create my world from within. I do not wait, I choose. I do not beg, I declare. I do not hope, I assume. And this assumption is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is recognizing that you are made in the image of the Creator, and therefore you are creative. You are not here to react to life. You are here to originate it. And so, Nalohashi, all creation begins in the unseen. The world you experience today was shaped by yesterday's thoughts, yesterday's beliefs, yesterday's assumptions. And the world you will step into tomorrow depends on what you accept as true today. See, understand me, you see, that the one reality is completely separate. So what will you accept? Will you accept limitation as your identity? Or will you rise and accept wealth as your natural state? Many wait for the condition to change before they change their mindset. But that is like waiting for the mirror to smile before you smile. It can't. It never has. It never will. Change comes from within, always. This is the sacred responsibility and the sacred privilege you carry, to shape your reality by shaping your inner world. You must become still, still enough to hear the old stories, still enough to feel the fear, and then still enough to let them go, replace them, word by word, feeling by feeling, assumption by assumption. It may feel unfamiliar at first. You spent years wearing the clothes of limitation. But the new garment will fit if you wear it long enough. The feeling of wealth, of certainty, of already done will grow. And as it grows, so too will your outer world begin to shift. It must. It has no choice. The world is not deciding for you. It is responding to you. So decide who you are, not in theory, but in feeling. Decide in the quiet of your heart. Decide each morning. Decide in the face of every challenge, and remain loyal to that decision. You will be tested, not by some force outside of you, but by your own former beliefs. They will try to rise. They will whisper, this is foolish. You don't see the money. Look around you. Be realistic. But you must answer them from the new self. I do not live by appearances. I live by inner vision. I know what I have chosen. I know who I am. And I will persist in this assumption until the outer reflects it. That is power. That is mastery. The poor mindset treats wealth as something rare, something hard to attain, something distant. But the rich mindset sees it as natural, as easy, as flowing, as inevitable. And that perspective changes everything. For when wealth becomes your norm, you stop resisting it. You stop pushing it away with your doubt. You stop fearing its absence. You stop chasing it like a desperate lover. Instead, you become a magnet, a vessel, a channel. And wealth, like everything else, follows love. When you love the state of abundance, not in a needy way, but in a peaceful, confident way, it draws closer. When you respect it, honor it, enjoy it without attachment, it multiplies. You can begin now, even if your present reality is far from what you desire, especially then. Because the greater the contrast, the more fertile the ground for transformation. Close your eyes and imagine your ideal financial situation. Don't just see it, feel it. Don't just observe it, step into it. What would it feel like to live in that abundance right now? To pay freely, to give generously, to rest confidently, to move with assurance? Let that feeling become familiar. Let it anchor in your body. Let it speak to your cells, your energy, your subconscious. Let it become your home. And then carry that home with you throughout the day. When you walk, walk from that place. When you speak, speak from that place. When you act, act from that place. This is not pretending. This is embodying. This is living in the unseen until the unseen becomes seen. And you will know when it is done, not by outer signs, but by inner peace. You will feel no need to rush, no anxiety, no grasping. You will know it is yours. And from that knowing, all things flow. People may ask you, what changed? And you will know the answer. Your inner world changed. Your assumptions changed. Your identity changed. The bank account followed. The opportunities followed. Because they had no choice. They are only echoes. They are only mirrors. And you, my friend, are the source. So breathe deeply now. Feel the truth of this. Let it settle. Let it soak into your being. You're already rich. Claim it, not with noise, but with silence. Not with effort, but with ease. Not with fear, but with knowing. It is done, and so it is. Let that truth rest within you like a seed, quiet, certain, alive. You don't need to force its growth. You only need to tend to it. Water it daily with attention, with belief, with imagination. The transformation from poor to rich does not happen through striving, but through surrender. Surrender to the truth that your imagination is the doorway, your assumption is the key, and your feeling is the fuel. Most are taught to depend on what they can see. They look outward for confirmation, for proof that things are improving. But that is not the way of creation. That is the way of reaction. The Creator looks inward. The Creator lives from the unseen. The Creator accepts the inner reality as the only cause. And because of that inner loyalty, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself. You have no idea how close you are, not because of some cosmic timeline, but because the moment you persist in the feeling of wealth, and you do not betray that feeling by doubt or fear, the world begins to crack open in places you cannot see. Paths you never imagined begin to form. People you didn't know existed are moving toward you. Doors you didn't know were there begin to unlock, quietly, behind the scene. But it begins inside. It always begins inside. And so the most powerful thing you can do is this. Each day, return to the state of the one who already is what they wish to be. You are not working to become wealthy. You are practicing being who you already are in truth. You are no longer seeking. You are choosing. You are no longer waiting. You are walking. That internal shift rewrites the script of your life. In every moment you have the chance to choose, do I identify with lack, or do I return to the wealth of my being? Do I say, I can't afford this, or do I say, my supply is infinite, and all I need flows to me? Do I shrink, or do I stand as one who knows the universe lives within? The poor mindset hesitates. It postpones joy. It measures and hoards and fears. But the rich mindset moves freely. It celebrates without guilt. It knows that giving and receiving are one motion, one breath. It trusts the invisible stream that is always flowing, and it gives not out of obligation, but out of overflow. To move from a poor mindset to a rich one, you must stop worshiping effort. and begin to trust alignment. You must stop trying to earn what you already are and begin to receive what you have assumed. The idea that you are not enough, that you must prove yourself, that you must suffer for your blessing, that is a lie of the old self. The truth is that you are enough. You are always enough. The moment you claim it, your world begins to reflect it. So dare to claim it. Dare to live from the feeling that it is already done, not once, not twice, but continually, daily, moment by moment. Let it become so natural that it becomes who you are, not just what you do. And when doubt comes, and it will, welcome it, but don't sit with it. Look at it with calm eyes and say, "You are part of the old story. I no longer live there," and return to your feeling of fulfillment. There is a place within you where wealth already exists, a state untouched by circumstance, a version of you that has already arrived. Your task is to find it, feel it, and dwell in it, not as a visitor, but as a resident. As you do, everything changes. The people, the situations, the bank account, all must conform to your inner conviction. Everyone has found peace. Once you conform to your inner conviction, this is the great reversal. To stop chasing and start embodying, to stop pleading and start assuming, to stop fighting and start allowing. You are not denied by the universe. You are only ever denied by your own self-concept. The moment you believe you are worthy, you are. The moment you assume you are wealthy, you are. The moment you declare, "This is who I am," with feeling, the world says, "Yes, it is so." But do not be deceived by appearances. The old world may linger for a time. The echoes of past beliefs may still be heard. But do not mistake them for truth. They are only shadows, dissolving. Keep your gaze inward. Keep your feelings secure. Keep your identity firm. When the storm comes, and it might, it is only testing your loyalty to the new state. Will you react and return to lack, or will you persist and remain in wealth? The test is not meant to break you. It is meant to strengthen your conviction. Each time you choose the new state over the old, you deepen your roots. You prove to yourself that you are no longer a slave to appearances. And soon, the appearances change. Quietly at first, a small opportunity, a compliment, a coincidence, a phone call, the moment of ease where before there was effort. These are the signs that the world is shifting. Celebrate them, but don't cling to them. Keep your focus on the inner. Let the outer be a byproduct. You are the one who commands reality, not with force, but with feeling, not with effort, but with knowing. That is your power. That is your authority. So each morning, before you rise, enter the state of wealth. Feel yourself surrounded by abundance. See yourself living from fullness. Hear the voice within that says, "All that I need is already mine." And carry that feeling with you like a fragrance. When you walk into a room, walk as one who knows they are wealthy. When you speak to others, speak as one who has more than enough, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence, not to impress, but to express your true identity. You do not need to prove anything. You only need to be. The more you live from that state, the more natural it becomes, and the more natural it becomes, the faster the outer must reflect it. This is the rhythm of creation. Inner first, outer second, cause first, effect second, assumption first, manifestation second. When others speak of hardship, you do not deny their pain, but you do not join their story. You can love them without agreeing with their limitations. You can help them rise by being the living proof that it's possible to shift, not by preaching, but by being, by living, by embodying. That is the greatest gift you can give the world, the example of one who chose a new identity and remained faithful to it until the world surrendered. And that identity, wealthy, abundant, blessed, is not a costume you wear. It is your birthright. You were not made to scrape by. You were not made to fear bills or measure your worth by your income. You were made to create, to expand, to overflow. And you were given the tools to do it. your imagination, your emotion, your inner word. Use them, not once, not as a ritual, but as a way of life. When you sit in silence, see yourself as already successful. When you breathe, breathe as one who lives in peace. When you sleep, fall asleep in the feeling of, it is done. Let that become your pattern. Let that become your atmosphere. Others may not understand you. Let them wonder. Let them question. It does not matter, for they are only seeing the echo. But you are already living in the vibration of what is coming. And soon, they will see what you've known all along. You are not becoming rich. You are remembering who you are. So now stand firm in this truth. You are not waiting for wealth. You are the source of it. You are not reaching outward. You are radiating inwardly. Your world is not happening to you. It is rising from you. Let the old story fall away. Let every thought of lack, fear, and unworthiness dissolve into silence. Refuse to speak defeat. Refuse to entertain doubt. Refuse to lower your identity to match your circumstances. Instead, raise your consciousness and your world will rise to meet you. Walk forward not as the one who hopes, but as the one who knows, the one who decided, the one who embodied wealth from the inside out. Let your inner world become so rich, so secure, so unwavering, that the outer world must bend and mirror your conviction. This is the shift. This is the awakening. From poor to rich, not by what you gain, but by who you become. So claim it, live it, be it, and let the world follow.